Hi there. This video is about a comparison between SBET and Bitmine, or ticker symbol BMNR. And you will find out which one is a better investment and what to do. By the way, the answer, you will find it in this box. During this video, open the box and you'll find which company is better between SBET and BMNR. Maybe you remember my past videos about those two companies. Bitmine. In the past, I made a video on July 5th. Just go on my channel and check. And I said that this is a total scam. And the stock price will go down from $145 per share. And guess what happened? Today, the price is about $40. Now, this was my view. Second, SBET. I also made a video on July 10th. And I said again that this is a scam. And the stock price will decline from $17. Now the stock price is about $27. But in recent days, the stock price is going down. A decline more than 18%. So it will fall. Now, let's make a comparison between those two companies. Look at the current market cap, 2.7 billion for SBET, 2 billion for BMNR or Bitmine. Price doesn't matter for the moment, because if you look at the market cap, that's what's important. Now, as you probably know, they buy Ethereum. Both companies invest in Ethereum. They take funds from the market and invest in Ethereum. And you have to look at their holdings to make a comparison, right? SBET has about 360k Ethereum, worth about 1.3 billion, and Bitmine 300k, worth around 1.1 billion. Somehow they are close. SBET has more Ethereum than BMNR, so plus goes to SBET. Now you have to understand how they raise money to invest in Ethereum, because if you look at their revenue for SBET, for instance, back in 2024, revenue was about $3.6 million. $3.6 million, the revenue. And if you look at the current market cap, over 2.7 billion, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to ask yourself, how did they get money to buy Ethereum? And same for Bitmine. Revenue for Bitmine 2024 was about 3.3 million. So the question is, how did they get money to buy Ethereum? So to answer that, they had a private placement. They raised money from investors to buy Ethereum, from private investors, of course. For instance, SBET raised 425 million from private investors, and they also issued shares and raised 440 million to buy Ethereum. Bitmine, or BMNR, same thing, private placement, 250 million, and they also issued some shares, and they had some assets before. They sold them to buy Ethereum. Now we have to look at their plans. What's next? What's next with those two companies? SBET plans to increase their Ethereum holdings to 5 billion by issuing more shares. So they want to raise money from the public market, from public investors, of about 5 billion to buy Ethereum. And Bitmine wants to do the same thing, to raise 2 billion from the public market, from the investors like us, retail investors, common investors like us, to buy Ethereum. Well, what does it mean, and how will they generate money in the future? SBET is planning to earn money from stacking rewards. I mean, if they hold Ethereum, they earn a percentage about 2 and 5%. Like, you deposit your money in your bank and you get the interest about 2 and 5% a year. For the moment, they earn between 2 and 3%. By the way, in the bank, you can have much higher rates, or you buy a bond. But Ethereum, if you look at Ethereum, they also bet on the increase in the stock price of Ethereum. If Ethereum goes up, also their holdings will go up. For instance, if the value of Ethereum doubles, also their holdings will double from 1.3 billion, the value, to 2.6 billion, close to the market cap. And of course, if that happens, the market cap will go much, much higher. Same for Bitmine. Now, maybe you also heard the recent news that Peter Thiel disclosed a stake of about 91% in Bitmine. And the plans of Bitmine is to control 5% of the Ethereum supply. Same thing, to earn money from staking rewards plus appreciation in Ethereum. Now, you also have to be aware of some things. Because, first, let's start with this stake of 9.1%. First thing, you are not Peter Thiel. You know why? When he invests in Bitmine, he doesn't buy as us common investors from the public market. He may have some special agreements. He might get some preferred shares, which protects him from dilution. As you've seen, they plan to issue, 5 billion to raise from the public market for SBET and Bitmine 2 billion. Let's say they do that and increase their holdings, right? And you buy right now this company. You can buy SBET or BMNR. This example applies to both of them. Let's say they have currently 300k Ethereum, right? The value about 1 billion. Now, and you own 50% of the shares of this company, right? But what happens? What happens if they continue to issue more shares to bring more investors? Well, your interest will get lower and lower. Instead of having 50% in those holdings, you will have 5%. Of course, this will be a plus for you, even if your interest gets lower and lower, only if the value of Ethereum goes higher. That will be a plus for you. But if dilution, the percentage in dilution is higher than these staking rewards, you are losing money. And this is likely to happen. Because if they want to raise 5 billion, this means at the current market cap 2.7 billion, they have to more than double the number of shares. Same here for Bitmine. And Peter Thiel, 9.1% stake in Bitmine, well, he might have some preferred shares or other agreements that protects him against this massive dilution for the public market, for common investors. So normal investors like us will get burned. And you saw what happened. Just check my last video on July 5th. Price $140. I said that this is a scam, will go down. And look what happened. A big loss for you. Common investors, retail investors, from $145 to $40. More than 50%. And you lost a lot. You lost your money. And you don't want this. And I continue to say, both companies are a scam for common investors, retail investors like us. They fool us to believe that they will do great things. They issue shares, buy Ethereum, and earn a lot of money. They fool us. So it's a scam for common investors like us. For private investors, they might have other advantages, other agreements, and they are protected against this massive dilution. And people don't understand this. They argue with me, they tell me I don't know anything about crypto, I don't understand how it operates. But believe me, this is a scam. They want to take your money to fool you and think that you can make a lot of money. Of course, if you want to speculate, to see another rebound in those stock prices, based on the demand, to speculate what others will do, then yes, you can make some money in the short term. Because if you look at SBET, yes, the stock price has increased from $17 to $27, but then a decline followed. So you can make money in the short term if you want to speculate, but be aware, don't stay too long, don't hold too long. If you make a profit, nice profit, sell it and forget about those two companies. And here you also have to be aware of one thing. You may see another jump in those stock prices, especially if they raise money from other investors or private investors. And if you have more short sellers, those are important. So if you have more short sellers, guess what will happen? Especially if Ethereum goes up to X. Those short sellers will be forced to buy back the stock to cover the losses, and they will push the stock price even higher. So in the short term, you can have another short squeeze for both companies because the market cap is small. And if that happens, yes, you can have another jump in the stock prices and then a decline. So it will happen up and down. Same thing. So you have to be very, very careful. And to open the box and tell you which one is better, here on this paper, you can see here, none of them. I continue to believe that both companies are a scam. Now, if you want to stop losing your money, and you've seen my prediction, what I said in the past videos, this massive decline from $145 to $40, if you want to stop losing money and make great profits, you can simply go to my profile and press join. And there you have access to my portfolio. It's exactly every transaction I do. Where I invest in great businesses, real businesses, for marginal safety, that deliver you earnings, profitable earnings, dividends, and more buybacks. Those are the companies you have to be in to make some money. And the return is like this. 2x, more than 2x. You can have more than 2x. So it's up to you. If you want to stop losing money and make real money, join my membership. And if you have other questions about those two companies, please let me know in the comments.